But when things are going well, you don't want to be taking that credit. As a leader, the worst thing you can do in those moments is to say, didn't I do well? All the decisions I made, all the things that I've done have led this team to perform. It's not about that. It's about the hard work of the team and the individuals in that team. Hi, and welcome to Helping You Perform. I'm your host, Paul Teasdale. Over a career working with high-performing teams from across the globe, including 7 years working with Formula One team McLaren, I've learned a lot about what it takes to drive results. In this weekly podcast series, I'm going to be bringing you tips, tricks and insights from the world of Formula One that you can apply for your organisation for your own high performance. Enjoy. Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 26 of the Helping You Perform podcast. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode on burnout, and I referenced some material there from my good friend Jimmy Burrows and talked about burnout and what it means at the end of a season, in particular, how that applies to the world of F1. If you haven't had a chance, go back and have a think about that, and go back and listen to last week's episode. But I wanted to make this week's episode probably a short one, actually, because I just wanted to touch on the fact that over the last few weeks, McLaren have really turned their performance around. Now, when I first joined McLaren, I'll often talk about this term, they were riding the crest of a slump. Things weren't going too well. It was into the Honda relationship with the engine. Things weren't happening. They were at the back of the grid. It was very demoralising. And there was a change of leadership at that point and a change of direction. Lots of different things happened. But what I wanted to talk about this week was the language of leadership and how that has noticeably changed for me in the way that the leadership at McLaren, particularly Zak Brown, has been talking about performance and has been talking about his role, the organisation's role, the team's role, when things aren't going so well and when things are going well. And what can we learn about that? So if we went back to those days where things were really not working out, we were looking for ways in which to improve, looking for new sponsors, nothing was really happening. A lot of the language that you hear from Zak Brown and the leadership of McLaren was all about what should we be doing? We talked about the team, what should we be doing and what am I doing there to support? So we'd often bring what the team is looking to do, but he'd often focus on what is it that I'm doing to help make that possible. So lots of we and lots of I. Because what that does is it builds that element of we as a team need to move this forward, and I'm going to be leading the way. I'm going to be putting my front foot forward, and I'm going to be doing what I can in order to lead the way so that this team can follow. Now, what's been interesting to me over the last few weeks is if you listen to the language that's being used at that leadership level, there's a lot more focus on what's been achieved. So we talk about, yes, the team, we talk about the we still, but it's more about the team has done this, the drivers have done this. And that focus from the leadership perspective, and this really important language from leadership perspective, is away from what I've done. It's not about me, it's about the team. It's about the individuals who've put this into play. It's about how the team has come together. So you'll hear that language of we, they, he, she, we all, that team, that individual. It's very, very rarely about what I've done in order to get this achievement. And it was a real interesting reflection for me about, as a leader, when times are tough, your job is to sort of be there as a shield, a little bit of a shield for your team, so that you as a leader can shield your team from the bad things that are happening, from the noise, from the naysayers, and those people who are saying that you're not performing well and the team is doing really badly. You're taking some of that and reflecting it back on yourself and saying, this is what I'm doing, I'm taking responsibility, and we as a team, I'm going to be helping the team, we as a team are going to move this forward. But when things are going well, you don't want to be taking that credit. As a leader, the worst thing you can do in those moments is to say, didn't I do well? All the decisions I made, all the things that I've done have led this team to perform. It's not about that. It's about the hard work of the team and the individuals in that team. So I want you to reflect on that. Are you doing that? So when the team isn't performing, are you talking about what you're doing about it and what we as a team can do about it and what you as an individual are going to do to support that and lead the way forward? And more importantly, when things are going really well and you're on the up and up, are you putting that praise back on the team and on the individuals for what they've achieved? Because it's not about you in those moments. So just a bit of a reflection as to what language are you using when it comes to the performance of your team? What are you taking on for yourself? And what are you reflecting back to your team and what your team have achieved? So that's something that you can go off and do. Make note of the kind of language you're using or the kind of language the leaders in your organization are using, and run some little experiments. Try to just say things in a slightly different way. Find new, nuanced ways of just testing that message in a different format and see how that helps you and your team perform. As always, I'd love to have a chat about this. Reach out to me through the website, paulteasdale.co.uk, and I'd love to help you to see where we can take this and help you perform. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Helping You Perform podcast. If you found value in this episode, please take a moment to like, share, or review the podcast. You can reach out to me at any time, either through LinkedIn or through my website at www.paulteasdale.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode.